Well, there's a little bit of difference, huh? 1959, 1971. Now you can see the difference why they call that a split window, and that's a bay window. Well, as you can see, everything's moved around. I got the 4Runner in the garage, picked up a new radiator, 5 gallons of tranny fluid, and make sure my information's not on here anyway. We'll just cover that. But my cost of radiator was $1.15, $1.16. A cap was $7, and then $65 for the fluid. And I got everything disconnected, and what I'm trying to do right now is just pump out the old trans fluid, and by doing that I have the lines removed from the radiator, and it's kind of like a circular flow. The pump pumps it wherever the path that it goes, through the torque converter, back out of the torque converter, through the system, and back out again. And I'm trying to get it to push all the old fluid out, because the torque converter, you're screwed. There's not too many ways you could drain that unless you physically remove it and turn it outside and whatnot. Sometimes they have a drain on them. Most of the ones I've seen do not, though. So I've done this before when I do regular transmission fluid changes, and I think I'm good to start. I don't quite remember. We're going to find out in a minute. But what I do is I just run it. The pump will pump out one of the lines until it starts spitting and sputtering. It did just open the thermostat too, and it dumped out a bunch more crap up in the heater core. Well, that's what I'm doing, and I'm watching that fluid. I'm waiting for that fluid to change color. And it is getting better. You can kind of see the oil there, the little color change. But the only problem is that stuff is like, it's very sticky, so I have a feeling it's sticking to all the pieces inside the trans. So it'll do that. I'll pump a little bit out, put another 2-3 quarts in it, flush it through, another 2-3 quarts, flush it through. I think it holds 12 complete if it's dry, and if you were to drop the pan, you'd probably get about 7 or 8. So this kind of gets, I'm hoping for all of it, but I know realistically I'm not going to get it all. So I think I'm going to do this 1 or 2 more times, then change the radiator, put the new one in it, and not too much more I can do, but just keep an eye on it, and then maybe flush it in the future again. Let it run for a little while, you know. Doing this. Now the radiator's open as far as the coolant's concerned. It was running. And of course the temp got up high enough where it opened the thermostat. It just jumped out about 1.5 gallons out of the coolant system, out of what was in the block too. Alright, so we're gonna go shut that down. There's no coolant in it at all. I'm sure the temp gauge is probably climbing. Actually, it's not too bad. It's halfway. Probably halfway because there's nothing to read. Alright. So that's kind of where I am. Maybe I'll do 1 or 2 more times like that, and then put the new radiator in. It is getting better. I can see the color changing. It is much more pink in that corner. I don't know if it'll stir up. Yeah, there you go. See, you can see that's, yeah, with the water in it, and with the water in it, it feels much more thicker. I have a feeling too that it'll probably foam in the transmission, but I just don't know. Again, it's just you're trying. You don't know whether to at this point stop. Don't put any more money in it. You know, what do? It's a hard call. So I figured this way: if the last 2 weeks, how long is it? What's a rent-a-car cost you? $200. So I figure if I put $200 in it, and say the tranny goes belly up, I'm not going to put a trans in this. It's just not worth it. It's just, you know, if it was a two-wheel drive car, maybe a different story. But you get the transfer case, everything else that's underneath this. It's just really a big cluster. Plus, this thing has 255,000 on it, and you can see where I repaired the frame. I'll give you a light. You know, I've done all the frame repair on this. You can see it's actually kind of dried up there where I sprayed it with bar and chain oil, but this was shiny metal that I put it on, so that it had no tooth for it to stick on. Look at it, you can see it rusting. Everything else seems like it's holding up pretty good. This was the first side I repaired a long time ago. All this was done too. See it. See all this stuff. That's all new frame. Or patched frame anyway. Seems like it's holding pretty good. And it's got a good undercoating on it now. You can kind of see that's the bar and chain oil just kind of soaking everything in, you know. So actually it might have been fluid film. I forget what I did this one in. Yeah, it might have been fluid film. I did the bar and chain on the 67. Either way. So I'm dealing with, you know, it's a 14-year-old car, over 250,000 miles on it, and I just have a hard time killing something, you know, saying that's done, that's it. It's going to the junkyard or being sold for $1,000, whatever. You know, it's just my nature to try to keep things going and running. But we'll try. Again, it is starting to look kind of pink. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'll flush one more, put another gallon in it. I'll flush that through one more time, and then I'll change the radiator. I'll back it up, and I'll start running the hose, and I'll start running water through the cooling system, and get what little remnants are out of that. But another thing too, I went to go pull the line off. This is out of the radiator. Can you see what I'm looking at? That right there. It just ripped right out of the radiator. I went to go put pliers on it. You can see the clamps pulled back. So that radiator was ready to fail in a different fashion anyway. It doesn't look bad. The pores don't look bad. The core. Piece of shit doesn't last 250,000 miles. Alright guys, I'm gonna go do some more on this and see where we go. Take care, bye.